Hey folks, Steve Glenn here. Hope you're doing great. Hey, I wanted to take and update a video I've had on YouTube for quite a long time. Well, several years. It's got quite a few likes on it. But I haven't revisited that thing in quite a while. And so there's a couple things I want to touch on that I think people maybe are missing a little bit. Silver stacking, still doing it. Yeah, it's you want to, if you're doing it, keep doing it because the manipulation is going to come to an end at some point in time. I mean, you can't, for the price now, you can't pull it out of the ground with that price. It's just, I mean, they're not mining silver. They're taking silver out of the ground as a part of other mining operations. But at that price at 14.33 or whatever it was yesterday, they can't pull it out for that. They can't even pull it out for what you. If you go to the website, say by Eagles or Maple Leafs, you're looking at about 16.20 or so. For an ounce, for a 1 ounce round, they can't pull it out of the ground at that price. Okay, so this stuff is severely undervalued, right? You want to get rich in this world, you buy stuff that's undervalued, and then you start around and sell it when it's overvalued. And someday silver will probably be in a bubble because there's going to be a massive amount of people moving into it. Okay. This is the way I like to put it. Say, for example, this is because the derivatives market, is sort of like fractional lending, but it's been taken to the nth, you know, edition. So on the comics, for example, here, let's say I've got one of these, okay? So this is a Silver Eagle. It's a little bit dirty one, but it's still 999 fine, silver. And but let's say I'm J.P. Morgan. I've got one of these, but I want to sell derivatives, of this. There's between the different top 8 banks or so, they have some days anywhere from 500 to 1,000 times the number of these that are being traded. Okay, they trade more of this stuff than it's unbelievable how much of it they trade. Way more than that's even available above ground. It should be illegal. It's like I'm gonna let you buy something that's not real, right? It's fantasy because it doesn't really exist. It's all paper contracts. It's all betting. It's all red and black. It's a gamble is basically what it is. But these things have intrinsic value, right? There's another one. These things have intrinsic value because, like this 10-ounce bar, I love these Royal Canadian Mint bars. They're nice because they stack real good. They're super shiny. Everything's clearly marked on them. They even got a serial number on them down there at the bottom. You can see that. And then, of course, on the back of them, they look really sharp too. They got one little maple leaf that's shiny instead of sort of matted like the rest of them. So these are little things that they do, to make them hard to, reproduce. As being a fake bar, but these things here, the stuff here. Now, this not so much this. I was going to say, I love these things here, but this is not like a Canadian maple leaf, right? They're minted at the same place, but you'll notice that this has no value on it. It doesn't say anything about what its cost is or what it's worth, right? Here's a regular round, 999 fine round of silver. And you can see from this thing here, it doesn't have any of that stuff either. It's hard to see here. And this side only just says Liberty on it. But the point is if you look over here on the American Silver Eagle, you will see right under my thumb here. We can get it. There you see it. $1. $1. Okay. So this is real. This is real money. This is as real as it gets right here. This is real money. Now, even though it's marked a dollar, there's at least, $16 or so worth of market value silver in here. And it's going to go up to quite a bit more down the road. Do dollar cost averaging. If you bought higher in the past and it's cheap now, just keep buying. It brings all that silver you bought in the past down to a cheaper price. But what's nice about these things is it's got a face value on it, so it'll never be worth less than $1, right? Um, and realistically, the other thing is that because it does have a face value on it, it's real currency, it's real money issued by the government. So there is no taxes on that. Okay. At some point in time, let's say these things go up in price. $500 an ounce, silver's at. Okay. It's November 16th, 2018. Silver's been going up for the last 2 weeks now. And right now it's just over 500 an ounce, like 520 an ounce. Okay. This is all hypothetical. But it certainly, I believe that there's reasoning to say they could go much higher than that. Let's say it's just 500. Okay, so here's $500 right here, and then here's $500 here, right? Now the values at which you have to pay taxes, I believe, is in around the $5,000 or $10,000 mark, which seems like a lot of money. But if you got some large bars and you sell off several of those, you will pay taxes on all that if it's just bullion, right? But if it's real currency, if it's real money issued by the mint, that has a value on it. And this is the same thing with the Maple Leafs and the Silver Philharmonics, is they have that, the lettering on there that says, hey, this is real currency here. This is real money. So I should get it to show up again here. $1. All right, so that's an advantage of buying these things. You gotta pay a little premium on these things, probably for that. But it's the most well-known silver round out there. But I plan on buying. I've got a pretty good stack of these 10-ounce bars here, and these are nice. They got a little heft to them. Got a little bit of weight to them. Feels like about 10 ounces or so. Yeah, that's about 10. So, but they're a nice weight, and down the road, I could see these things being worth, if silver gets up to $800,000 an ounce, right? There's a $10,000 right there. Okay. And I think those days will come eventually. Why? Because it's like this. It's like musical chairs. The derivatives market is like having a big game of musical chairs going, and you got about 800 or 900 people playing. But guess what? You only got one chair. When the music stops, right? Everybody's going to be. Can you imagine 800 or 900 people and one chair in musical chairs? Right. Most people are going to end up not having anything. Okay. One person's going to get the chair and mugged probably, and then everybody else is going to get nothing. And that's sort of what's going to happen eventually when the derivatives market caves. Okay. So if you can imagine, you're invested in different things, stock market, you're invested in bonds, there's lots of different assets to be invested in. Like you could invest in corn. You could invest in, wheat. You could invest in oil. There's lots of stuff you can invest in, right? If you do options trading and commodities trading. Um, but when the markets crash, when the stock market starts coming down, the bond market's crashing, the housing market's crashing, people are going to be looking for some place to put their money because their money is deteriorating very quickly. Okay, this is what happens when the markets start crashing. We're going to have hyperinflation, and hyperinflation. Whether you realize this or not, you go to look at the history of Venezuela and Brazil and a number of these other countries, pretty much all emerging markets around the world right now. They're all experiencing hyperinflation. But what happens is each day, the dollars that you have are worth less money. So, if we're in a highly inflationary environment, I'm not going to want to hold on to this any longer than I have to. I'm going to want to go, okay, I need to probably try to spend this stuff in the next day or two because the purchasing power that I have is being reduced each and every day. So when people go, okay, well, if I've got a large amount of money and I'm losing purchasing power with this, well, how do I hold on to purchasing power? That, my friends, is the number one reason that you have gold and silver. That is the number one reason. It holds its purchasing power. It's insurance basically on your money. Okay? You probably don't hear people talk about it that way, but that's pretty much what it is. It's a store of value. Now, there is the opportunity for, a reset to reset the prices of precious metals such that if you have a good bit of it, you can make quite a bit of money. But think about it this way. You all, if you're adults and you've got kids or had kids, you know all about insurance. You have house insurance, you have car insurance, you have health insurance, you got insurance on your kids, you got insurance on your phone, you got insurance for all sorts of stuff. You got insurance to pay you money when you're in the hospital. There's just all kinds of insurance. But do you have insurance on your money? No, most of you probably don't. Is the stock market, is your money insured in the stock market? No, no. That's why good portfolio managers will always try to recommend that in your portfolio, if you want to, sure, you got stocks, you got bonds, and maybe there's appropriate times, to pull out some or be less risky at other times. And all those things are certainly true, but a certain percentage of your portfolio should be in precious metals. Why? Because it's insurance on your money. If everything else starts going to crap, guess what? People are going to be looking for where can we put our money? Where can we put our money? Well, you can put it in artwork. Well, I don't know artwork. We can put it in diamonds. Well, I don't know much about gemstones or jewelry. Well, you can put it in precious metals. Okay. Well, yeah, silver's been money since, well, last 4 or 5 thousand years. Pretty much gold too, right? And it holds its value. What do I mean by holds its value? I don't have one right in front of me, but if I had a 1955 quarter, uh, that quarter would have about $3.50 worth of silver in today's prices in it. Okay, so think about that. 1955, what could I buy with a quarter? Well, uh, could I buy a gallon of gas? Yeah, I think you probably could buy a gallon of gas. I remember being in high school and spending not more than 30, 32 cents, 37 cents at times for a gallon of gas. So, and 55 was, that was before I was born. So it must have been quite a bit cheaper then. And sure enough, today, if I take a 55 quarter because of the silver that it's got in it, and I were to take that to a pawn shop or someplace and sell it, I could take that money that they gave me, and right now I could go out and buy more than a gallon's worth of gas, and then I could take the change left over. I could go to McDonald's. I could get a quarter pounder or a couple of cheeseburgers maybe and a drink. Yeah, I'm going to be able to get gas and something else out of what was a 1955 quarter. Okay, and that's an example of how these things hold value. They say back around the turn of the century, about 1908, 1910, 1905, you could take a $20 gold piece and you could walk into a place that sold fine clothing, and you could get yourself a full, very nice suit for $20. You were squared away, head to toe, except for maybe the shoes. Um, you take that same $20 gold piece today, and it's worth about $1,200. You can go into a really nice, clothing store, and you can still, with that same $20 gold piece, you can buy a really nice suit. Probably buy a couple of really decent looking suits. And this is again how that gold has held its purchasing power down throughout the years. Okay. And this is insurance on your money. Um, so there's that, which a lot of people talk about. And then there's also this reset. And the idea behind the reset is that when money has to be when people are tired of the fiat money system, and that is just to say money that's backed by the government saying wink wink, we'll back that for you, we'll make sure that dollar's always worth something, wink wink. uh, Going back to something like silver and gold to back the money supply means that to have an adequate amount of money supply out there. And so what we do is they probably go back. It might be paper, it might also be blockchain technology, but somewhere on here they would say, backed by U.S. silver, U.S. gold, or something to that effect. And you should be able to take these things someplace and actually exchange them for, the real thing, or you should be able to, take the real thing here and walk into stores and buy stuff with it. And there's a lot more states right now across the country, and you can look this up on the internet if you want to. But there's a lot of states out there that are now uh, passing laws that say that silver and gold can be used as money. And wow, what a surprise! It's been used as money from the beginning of time, pretty much. Right? This is what some people call God's money because it's precious metals coming out of the ground. And they're precious for different reasons. Gold is precious because it's precious, but silver is getting more and more rare. Silver is also a commodity that's used in a lot of different things. Used in solar panels and computers and laptops and phones and switches and all kinds of computer electronics, because it is the most electrically conductive metal on the planet. Okay, so anything that needs to conduct electricity and be used in special ways, and they need a high level of conductivity, that property of moving electrons and energy through through metal, then silver works the best. But silver is also used in a lot of jewelry. People use it for that. India and other countries are now taking and buying lots and lots of silver. And eventually it's going to become very rare, I believe. It could be where it's like once silver takes off in price, it very well could be that was your last opportunity to buy any. Either that or you might spend a lot of money to get it. And, I tell my kids and I tell people that I love, I say, Mike Maloney and a bunch of other people have said it, and I agree with it 100%. You're better off being, a month, day, week, or even a year early than being one day late. Because if you're one day late, you may not be able to buy fine silver. Okay, maybe you can find plated silver in some jewelry or in silverware. Grandma's silver that she got for a wedding gift, things of that nature. But you may not be able to go online and just buy bars and rounds of silver. That may go away because people that have got it are like, wow, this stuff is really valuable. we don't want to get rid of it. So I would say try to get some as soon as you can. Keep acquiring it. Oh man, sorry it's late. But keep acquiring it, and hopefully this has been interesting for you. You can check out some other videos. I've got some other details out there related to some of this stuff, but I wanted to really touch on a couple of things, especially that your portfolio has to have some precious metals in it. If you've got insurance on your money, that's how you do it. Okay. All right. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you liked it, if you found it enlightening or useful or interesting, subscribe. Click the like button down below. And God bless each and every one of you out there. And we'll bring some more videos to you. Thanks. Bye bye.